Texas A&M's Leftward Lunge. It's September 9th, 2025, and these are your headlines. This story just seems to keep getting worse. Texas A&M University is facing scrutiny after a professor allegedly removed a student from class for objecting to a lesson on transgender ideology. The case came to light after Representative Brian Harrison released video showing a children's literature course that included lessons on the so-called gender unicorn. We all know what that is, right? Covering gender identity, expression, and sex assigned at birth, and how to present those ideas to children as young as 3 years old. When a student objected on religious grounds, she was dismissed from class. Harrison also released audio of A&M President Mark Welsh defending the inclusion of LGBTQ content for students preparing to work in education or mental health fields. Harrison has now referred the matter to the U.S. Department of Education, citing a Trump executive order on DEI and transgender instruction, and the DOJ Civil Rights Division has said it will review the complaint. Texas A&M Chancellor Glenn Hager responded yesterday, calling it unacceptable for faculty to push political agendas. And in a late-night statement, President Mark Welsh later said the university's taken action by removing the dean and department head who approved course content inconsistent with the syllabus. Harrison, however, says that's not enough. He's calling for the professor and President Welsh to be fired and for all DEI and LGBT instruction at A&M to be eliminated. Governor Greg Abbott also today has called for the professor to be fired. Representative James Talarico is officially running for the U.S. Senate now, entering the Democrat primary alongside former Congressman Colin Allred. In his campaign launch, Talarico framed the race as a fight against the powerful, saying the biggest divide in America isn't left versus right, but top versus bottom. But his message is already being undercut by questions about his campaign finance. Politico reported recently that Talarico took nearly $60,000 from Texas Sands PAC, a group funded by casino billionaire Miriam Adelson, the widow of GOP megadonor Sheldon Adelson. That was his single largest contribution last year. Adelson's group has donated across party lines to push casino gambling in Texas, and Talarico himself has voted in favor of gambling expansion. His office insists that his support predates the donation. Talarico has built a reputation as one of the most left-wing voices in the Texas House, opposing bans on explicit books, restrictions on gender mutilation procedures for minors, and even the new law requiring the 10 Commandments in classrooms. National progressives, though, see him as a rising star, but those same positions could be a liability in a statewide race. Meanwhile, the Republican primary is shaping up as a battle between Senator John Cornyn and Attorney General Ken Paxton.
What are the important things out there in Texas politics and Texas news that matter to you, and what can you do about it? That's what we want to bring you with the Luke Macias Show on a weekly basis for 20 to 30 minutes. That way you can get the information and go do something for the rest of your week. I look forward to coming to you every Wednesday.
2 California-based food companies are suing Texas over the new ban on cell-cultured meat, arguing the law is unconstitutional. Senate Bill 261, which took effect September 1st, prohibits the sale of cell-grown meat in Texas with civil and criminal penalties for violators. The ban lasts 2 years, after which those products would only be allowed if labeled lab-grown or cell-cultured. Senator Charles Perry carried the measure, calling it a safeguard for Texas ranchers and consumers. Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller echoed that sentiment, praising the law as cowboy logic to protect authentic meat. But the lawsuit, filed by Wild Type and Upside Foods, says the state has unfairly shut its doors to out-of-state companies. They argue the ban violates the U.S. Constitution's commerce and supremacy clauses. Upside Foods is backed by who else but Microsoft founder Bill Gates, who's pushed alternative proteins as a climate change solution. Texas is now the 7th state to ban lab-grown meat. Florida has already faced legal challenges, and now Texas is in the same fight, setting the stage for a broader national battle over the future of our food. For more of today's stories, go to TexasScorecard.com.